Yes, guys, what's going on? So yeah, just going off what I sent in the chat. Again, please do take this as you will. This is a rather bullish scenario, a bullish case. It doesn't have to happen, of course, but I just wanted to point it out to you guys. So yeah, man. Looking at this on the daily time frame here, just looking at this bit of price action here, you can see, okay, look, the golden cross is here. This is on the daily time frame. Okay, so right where the golden cross is where the breakout of this trend line here, I'm going to get into in a minute, has potentially occurred. And then you've come up, you've met a high, okay, and then you're starting to retrace. And then within doing so, we are caught, you can see, squeezed into a corner here. I do believe, obviously, like we all know, a break is coming relatively soon. And this is one of the, as I said, a bullish pattern that potentially could be in play. Now, what you can see here for Bitcoin, right from up here, okay, from this peak, you can see we was holding this trend line. So I'm looking at this trend line here now, okay. We was holding this trend line of support. You came up, another impulsive high, okay. Then we came down, we was holding the trend line, holding the trend line, holding the trend line, death cross, okay. Lost the trend line in capitulation, came down, run back into it as support here, and then have continuously, again, since been rejected and running into that trend line, okay. And we was doing that all the way until we formed the bullish cross. So from the death cross, we lost support of that of this pattern here, okay, which was again the double top, I think it was, or something like that. And we lost support of this trend line, and then we was hitting our heads, as I've said, okay, and then we was forming this higher lows here. We were forming these just higher lows, okay, and we was squeezed into a corner, and then we broke out, okay, we broke out of that trend line. So this trend line, again, I've been watching all the way since October. You can see again. That, you know, you just lost support, resistance, again, resistance, 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 broke above, falling back to this trend line. This trend line hasn't been lost yet. This trend line hasn't been lost. Okay, so this is something where I'm saying now, this is a go signal, this is a sell signal, okay? You've come up, you're falling back. Again, you've created the sell signal here, okay? You have, and you've hit your head on it, but again, you're holding this trend line. So this trend line, I do believe, is acting as key support right now. Okay, and if it does start to come down and lose it and hit its head, it's more probable, obviously, you're coming down to those 35k areas. I think a lot of people are expecting or looking for currently. But, you know, again, from the bullish side of things, this does potentially look like some sort of massive falling wedge or being squeezed into a corner, and a break is coming. And this is a bullish pattern. But again, just quickly going into the equal side of that, you could equally say that, you know, a lot of people watching the closes on these candles here on the daily, you know, and it's lost support of this trend line, hit its head on it, and it's now being rejected, okay, because that's what's happened. If you zoom in, you can see that, you know, we've lost the candle close on the trend line here. You came down, ran back into it as resistance, came back down, came back up into it as resistance, and now we're back down trying to work our way again back into resistance. So this is a trend line we need to get above, and then just like I had in a second ago, that's the trend line. Go back to it quickly. Yeah, this is the trend line we need to hold. Okay, we need to hold this trend line here. So that's the bullish scenario, falling wedge. Bearish scenario, you've lost support and you're hitting your head and potentially could be rolling down. So again, it's a bit of a 50-50 at the moment, but I just wanted to point out that this trend line here has been quite substantial since October 2021. Support turned into resistance, resistance, broke support, currently still holding this as support, okay? So that's why I wanted to point it out to you guys. But yeah, that's a little update. Take care.